2025 is fast approaching. If you was to open the door and peek through, she is literally looking and staring at you, and she is ready to be welcomed with open arms. So that is why we're here today, to welcome 2025 in together in a really positive way. It can be so overwhelming when the new year happens because we feel like, what have we achieved? What have I actually done this year? You can get really reflective and it can sometimes make you feel a little bit down. But I'm actually here today to really make you feel good about the year you've had and to make you feel even more excited about the year that you have to look forward to. And I love doing these videos because it should be such an exciting thing to want to go on a new journey and to develop further and to grow as a person. We are never too old to stop growing and evolving and learning, and I feel like I've really realised that over the last few years. Like, I love learning and I love changing, which is so funny because I used to be so scared of change, and I think change is actually such a beautiful thing. So I want today to be just a really lovely video. I want you to feel like you are sitting down with your friend over a coffee. Like, go grab yourself your favourite drink. I've got myself a mocha right here. Together we're going to review what went really well this year and what maybe didn't go so well. And as I say, I know this time of the year can be a bit overwhelming, and especially these kind of videos, sometimes you watch them and they're just incredible. The person has done so well and it makes you feel a little bit like, oh, what have I done with my year? What have I done with my life? But I actually want this video to be really relatable and to make you feel like anything you've done, even if your achievement this year was just keep going, it's good enough. We are going to assess together what went well, what didn't go so well, and ultimately what we learned from it, because as long as we learn something and we take something away from everything that goes on in our life, then we're doing a great job. So you can either go grab yourself a notepad right now and you can take some notes that you can come back to at a later date, or you may like to go through this video with me and do it in real time. I personally would recommend that one. If you've got some spare time, if you've got an hour or so to kill, then I would definitely take some time right now or come back to this video, get yourself a notepad or use your phone, however you like to make your notes, and really work on this with me. You can watch each section, you can pause it, you can do your little bit of homework, come back to the video, and by the end of the video together we would have gone through the years and just set some new aims for 2025. And this is not just the standard goal setting video. We are going to be vision boarding, we're going to be looking at who we want to be as a person and what we want to be like. So this is a lot different to just goal setting. We're going to goal set too, but I really like to dive into so many different areas in this video, not just I want to do this like next year. I really like to get you thinking because it's a really good way of assessing where you're at now and where you want to be. It's what I've done every single year for the past like 2 or 3 years, and it's just been amazing. Like, it's really great because you can look back on it and see where you were at. It really opens your eyes when you feel like you haven't done much, and then you see how you felt a year ago and how you feel now. It's crazy. When we're going to be in a reflexive mood like this, I do like to make sure you're nice and comfortable. So making sure you've done a little bit of self-care potentially. So maybe the night before doing this, if you want to come back to it tomorrow, you might want to have a nice bath, you might want to use some oils in the bath, face mask, or maybe you're just wanting to crack on right now and getting yourself a nice drink and just getting cozy under the blanket. Just make sure you're feeling happy when you're going to do this video, because I like going into my kind of like year reflection in a good mood and feeling positive. I was going to film this video a couple of days ago and I just didn't feel right, so I decided not to film it because I thought, no, I want to feel in a really good headspace. So yesterday I went out for the day with my friend, I got my nails done, I got my toes done, did a little bit of shopping, and yeah, I just feel really happy for it, and I feel like in a really good mood today to now crack on and really dive deep into everything 2024 related and 2025. So we're going to start by having a reflection on 2024. So there's going to be a few key questions that I want you to ask yourself. You can write them down in your notepad and just jot things down. How you answer these is completely up to you. So you might want to do it in bullet point form, you might want to do a kind of mind map like brainstorming, you might want to do yourself a paragraph or even write out a statement as to how that year went for you. It's completely up to your way of working and how you feel that you get this information from here on the paper the best way. But I want you to ask yourself the key questions such as, what went well this year? What did I achieve? This is not just things that are big like buying a house or getting a promotion. These can be little things too. It could be that I started working out again, which by the way is still a very big thing. It could be that I reconnected with an old friend and that's made me feel really happy. It could be that I achieved something at work. I did a particular task or activity and it made me feel really good and I really liked that. It can be as small or as big as you want it to be. Just really sit down and flow into the emotions and think about what happened this year and what key moments really made you smile and made you feel proud of yourself. And I I don't want anyone sitting there thinking there is nothing. There will always be something this year. And as I said at the start, if your biggest achievement this year was just keep going, if you've had a hard year, then that is a huge achievement. So do not underestimate anything that you've done this year. It could be that you completed a course at work. It could be that you've started listening to positive, upbeat podcasts and that's made you feel really positive as a person. So anything, write these down just so we can have a nice summary of what we've done this year and that we can feel really happy for it. Because we deserve to give ourselves a pat on the back where it's due. Then we're going to do the slightly uncomfortable thing, which is going to be reflecting on what didn't go so well. And this could be things like you haven't reached a goal. So that's not necessarily it hasn't gone well, it's just not gone to plan. So let's try and change our mindset on this and not view it as such a negative thing. But ultimately, what hasn't quite gone to plan this year for you? Are there any goals you didn't reach? Are there situations that you're in that you don't like how you handled them? Because that's a really reflective thing to do as well. There could be situations in your personal life, in your working career, any situation where you didn't like the outcome and you feel that actually upon reflecting you could have handled it better. It could have been a disagreement. It could have been that you weren't disciplined enough in a particular goal that you had, and had you been more disciplined, you maybe would have reached that. But really do sit down again and think about anything that makes you feel uneasy from this year, and why does it make you feel uneasy? What caused that? And what would have been the action you should have taken to make that a really positive outcome? And then after doing this, I want you to write a positive list of things that you can do. It could be personality traits or mini goals based on those things that you were not particularly happy with. So it could be that I want to stop and think before reacting. If you find yourself being too argumentative with people, it might be that I want to take 5 minutes before responding to that text that annoyed me. It could be that I want to make sure I allow 15 minutes a day to get outside for a walk because I did not move my body enough. It could be something like I need to make my bed every morning. Like, just literally, it could be nice random things like to do with your house, your lifestyle, the way you react with people, the way you interact. Anything. Shifting it from a negative situation to a positive situation and making ourselves mini goals. And then you can also do a positive list of the things that you did last year that you really liked about yourself, that you would love to bring into the new year as well, because these points are all going to really help us when we review our overall goals for 2025. So if we have these lists, it's just going to make it a lot easier to kind of process and review and see if there's any patterns as well. Now, this might sound really weird, but when I write someone's birthday cards, or when I'm just writing in general, I don't actually really think about what I'm writing. I kind of get myself into what they call like a flow state, and I just write and I just let whatever is meant to be written down like go onto the paper. It's a really weird thing to explain, and I don't know if any of you can relate to that, but if you can get yourself into that zone, I would highly recommend that for all the previous questions I've asked you. Don't overthink it. We don't need to overthink here. These things should not be a hard task. They should just be things that come naturally to you. And of course you can build on them if later on you get a thought of something that you've forgotten, but try and make these things just really easy activities for you to do. It shouldn't be a really difficult task. It should just be flowing. That is what I would recommend. Just let yourself flow and let whatever comes to mind come onto the paper. So for this kind of summary that I said about the list of things, it's basically just what I want to do more of and what I want to do less of. And then if you did set yourself any goals for 2024, you can now just sit and reflect on those as well, and hopefully all the previous things you've just done will really help you to be able to answer if you reached that goal or not, and if you didn't reach it, then why, and is it still a goal? It might not be a goal anymore. This is something I've learned over the years, that just because you set out to achieve something at the start of the year, it doesn't mean that you in 12 months time is still going to want that same goal as you did at the beginning of the year. So don't be hard on yourself if you haven't reached your goals. Maybe they don't align with you anymore, and that is completely okay. You're allowed to change your mind, and also you're allowed to not reach your goals. There is no time pressure that you have to do something by a set date. Goals should be used more as steering, kind of guiding you through the journey of your life to get you to where you want to be, and the end destination is always gonna change, because when you get there, what you want changes. Instead of trying to rush to reach these goals and tick them all off, it gets exhausting, because actually the goals are always changing. The goalpost is moving. The dangly carrot is always just being dragged up the road, because if you're a goal-getter, if you're someone that really loves kind of self-improvement, self-development, you're a workaholic, any of those things, you are probably going to be someone that is always wanting more. So please do not be hard on yourself with your goals, because they can change, and if you haven't reached them, it's okay. Like, we can reach them next year, we can reach them the year after, but as long as we're taking the steps we need to be on the right tracks, we're all good. And then we're going to set some goals for 2025, and I like to set the number of goals based on the year. So we're going to do 25 goals for 2025, and I personally really like to break my goals up into categories. I often like to have a health and wellness one, lifestyle, finances, and sometimes social, or for me that's normally social media, to be fair, but for you it could be social in terms of like friendships and work and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to run through with you my goals. I normally write them out, but I actually put them in my phone this year. I don't know why, I just did it when I was in the bath one day, to be honest. Again, they were just flowing, I wasn't really thinking about it. So my goals, some of them will make you laugh because they seem really small, but I wanted to include them because I wanted to show you that not every goal has to be a big thing, that I need to buy a house or I need to do this. Goals can be big and small, they can be varying, and goals can sometimes not make sense to other people, but they absolutely make sense to you too. So my goals will give you maybe an insight into some things that you can think about doing. They might help prompt you, but equally they might just help you realise that you're not alone, because I am going to kind of like try and open up a little bit in these goals, and without waffling for like an hour, I'm going to try and kind of go into why I've set the goal, and if you're interested. If you're not interested, you can just skip. But yeah, I'm going to just give you a little backstory into each goal, and then you can understand me a little bit better too if you're new here, or if you are a regular, then you'll probably like to hear like the updates. And before we get into the goals, I want to reflect on 2024, a very broad summary. At the end of 2023, my biggest goal actually for 2024 was basically to not set many goals, which sounds crazy. From the age of about 19, 20, I've really been hard on myself. I'm 29 now. Scary, I know. I have been extremely hard on myself, work-wise, career, savings. I have gone hard for the last 10 years. I just got to the point last year where I just couldn't take it anymore. I was really struggling. I just had severe burnout, in all honesty. I had severe burnout, and I could not keep the momentum up any longer. So my biggest goal last year was actually to have a year of not setting crazy goals, and to just enjoy myself and to do what felt right. And that's exactly what I did, which then turned out that 3 months into the year, so January, February, March, I was having a great time. I was losing weight that I'd gained from the stress and the burnout. Yeah, I was the lightest I had been since my early 20s. I was feeling good. I was socializing. I was doing all the things I wanted to do. I was feeling good. I basically decided to start my own business, and I started that in March, and it was tunnel vision from that point onwards, and I got myself back into my old ways of spiraling and being obsessive and just tunnel visioning on that thing, which is what I am good at. I've got a very, like, my personality, when I really want to do something and I love it, I will be obsessive and like crack on, which is really great when I want to achieve something, but it's also a really bad trait I have too, because it really is to my detriment. So yeah, basically to summarise 2024 for me was the year that I started in a really good self-care way, and then that slowly slipped throughout the year to some extent, and I just became a complete workaholic again, and I got myself really anxious, like another level. We're going to talk about that in the goals section. And I did actually end up launching a business, which is mental, because the year that I set out no goals, I did one of the biggest things I've ever done in my life, which again just shows you sometimes don't set yourself ridiculous goals because you just don't know what's around the corner, and sometimes allowing yourself actual time and freedom actually brings you the best plans and ideas of them all, which is exactly what happened to me. Anyways, moving on to my 2025 goals. Number 1 is drink enough water each day. So boring, we all say it and we never do it, but I truly have just like not drunk enough the last few months. When I go into a weird mode of anxiousness and stress, it's really odd, but I almost forget to do the basic things. Like, I genuinely don't think about drinking water. It could be 1 o'clock in the afternoon and I've not even thought I'm thirsty. It's very, very weird, but it's almost like my mind switches off to things that I need to do, the basic things to look after myself. Very peculiar. And one of my biggest goals is actually to drink enough water, because it's damn important. So that is actually on there at number 1. And number 2 is stop doom scrolling, and I've literally put loads of exclamation marks. And comparison. They always say comparison is the theft of joy, and it's so true, and I'll put that on there. I'll probably still do it to some extent. Like, I'm under no illusion that's going to stop completely, but I want to stop it as much as I can. As a brand new baby business owner, I am just in the biggest state of comparison and self-doubt and doom scrolling beyond belief. I feel like the more time I dedicate to my phone, maybe that means my business will do better. It's completely not true. Scrolling and just being fixated by this stupid little device right here is actually like, it's just toxic as anything, and I know a lot of you will relate to that. Like, anyone can be in that state. It might just be doom scrolling social media. A little cheeky scroll here and there, having fun, catching up is fine, but you shouldn't be putting it before quality time with your friends, family, partner, putting it before your sleep, just needing to do it all the time. And in all honesty, I have got myself into a really bad way of doom scrolling, so that needs to stop. And then my third one is working on less screen time, phone down in the evenings. Just ties along with that really nicely, really, but I just need to make sure I'm actually putting my phone down and I say, no, this is the end of the working day now, the phone goes down. As a self-employed girl, I do not ever stop. And then number 4, keep going to the gym consistently, make it your lifestyle and see the results. I say this because over the years I've on and off had virtual PT sessions and gone to the gym here and there and done this, done that, and I never stick to it. It's because I never really enjoy what I'm doing, if I'm completely honest. And I actually used to be a gym girl when I was much younger, when I left school all the way through to my early 20s. I was hardcore a gym goer, would you believe it? Like, I was quite skinny compared to how I am now. I was in the gym like 6 times a week. I was in love with the gym at that time in my life. I mean, I kind of taught myself how to love it, but that's many moons ago, and ever since then I've always been in and out. Because I've put my career first, it's been really hard for me to then put something else as high as a priority for myself. 2025 is the year that I make the gym and working out a consistent thing. I've joined the gym now. I have a in-person real PT, not virtual. I need someone in person. I need someone to show me what I'm doing, how to get my form right, all of them things to motivate me, and it's doing me wonders. I'm only like 2 weeks in, but every single day since I started, I have done some form of exercise. If that's a treadmill at home, if that's going out for a nice long dog walk. So I feel in a great headspace, and like the biggest thing for me as to why I'm going to the gym is for my mental health. So I think it actually makes it more of a thing that I'm going to push myself for over vanity. When it's just for weight loss, it's never enough. But for me now, it's about, I want to go to the gym because I want to sort my head out, because I've not been feeling the best. Number 5 is daily walks, but really taking them in. And what I mean by that is enjoying the walk, looking around, be in the moment. And that is something we all do not do enough of, and I certainly don't do enough of that. Being in the moment, looking at the sky, try and spot the beauties of nature, and just actually think for a second how crazy it is we're even here, and how crazy it is all these wonderful things are grown. And you know, actually, like, just take that in for a moment, because we take these things for granted, but actually it's literally magical. So take it in. My next one, number 6, is keep eating 80-20 and home cooked. 80-20 is just basically my way of saying 80% good, 20%, you know, not so good. Basically balanced, but majoritively swaying. Majoritively, is that a word? Swaying to good. And when I say good, I just mean non-processed foods, home-cooked good meals. I really fell out of love with cooking this year. Again, through stress, through lack of time, poor time management, prioritising work over my health. Whenever I'm eating really good and I'm getting all my vegetables in, I'm getting all my fruits in, I feel amazing. I really do. That is really important to me for next year. I say this a lot, and I'm going to say it again. Just always remind yourself, food is fuel. You would not put diesel into a petrol car and expect it to operate well. Although you might want to eat all this processed foods because you're in a bad headspace and you don't want to work out and you don't want to lose weight, or you're struggling to, just remind yourself the root cause of why we actually eat. We eat to literally stay alive. So why are we putting trash into our body that does not allow our body to operate well? And if we're gonna give our body that trash, it's funny when I say trash because I know it's an American word. I love saying trash. But if you're going to eat like trash, at least make sure you've given your body the nutrients it needs that day. So when you do have your slab of chocolate cake or whatever that thing is that you want, your body's had vegetables, it's had fruits, it's had proteins, it's had the things it needs. So that bad food, if you like, is just an extra that you're eating for satisfaction, but it's not what you're actually eating is keep your body going. That's what I try and say to myself. If I'm going to have a dessert, at least make ssure your dinner is healthy and have a lot of broccoli and whatever the things is. And also, healthy food doesn't have to be boring. Like, you can make food so tasty. That's a whole nother thing for itself, another day. Number 7 God, we're going to be here a while, aren't we? Going to try and get through a bit quicker now. Prioritize self-care, doing things to look good and feel nice every single day. The reason why is when you look good, you feel good, and when you feel good, you do good, guys. And I will stand by that quote. When you show up as the person you want to be, like when I go to the gym, I have my makeup, I have my hair, I'll slick it back, but it will look nice, I'm presentable, because if I feel like I look my best self, I will perform better. If I feel like I look bad, I will just be in my shell more and not feel good. And some people call it vanity, but I just think it's the way of the world. When you look good, you feel good, people treat you better. If it's wrong or right, I don't make the rules, but I do think it is true. So that is a really important thing for me, and just prioritizing self-care, because when I get my nails done consistently and I don't let them chip and grow out for too long and they're looking good and I'm freshly fake tanned all the time and my hair's nice and clean, and I feel so much better in myself because you're putting the love into yourself, which is so important. If you're not feeling good in yourself, nothing around you is going to perform better. Stop channeling all your energy into everything else and channel some energy back into yourself. You can always find time. Even if you make your shower routine a little bit more special and you get a really nice exfoliating body scrub or something like that, like even if you're a busy mum, whatever your lifestyle looks like, you can find tiny little pockets in the day to just add a little bit of self-care to your life. And please don't tell me you can't, because honestly everyone can. Like, it takes me the same time to slick my hair and make it look tamed as it probably would to chuck my hair up in a really scruffy messy bun that I have to redo because it keeps falling out. So you can absolutely prioritize just a little bit of self-care in your day. And number 8, showing up as who you want to be, very much off the back of point 7, showing up as the person you want to be each day, as in dressing the way that you want to dress, taking care of yourself, being confident, putting the love into everything you do. Even if you're not seeing the results, having that faith that that will come because you're walking towards the version of yourself that you want to be. By the way, if there's any of these things you want me to touch upon more, I can do like a whole dedicated video, but I'm trying to obviously skip through like 25 things all at once. There's lots of wisdom I could share on a lot of these things. Number 9 is to be more approachable, stop assuming worst case and be kind always. And what I mean by this is just, I do a lot of this already, so this is not me saying I'm not approachable, by the way, but what I mean is just making sure when you are in a supermarket, say thank you so much, have a lovely day. I always do that. I'll make a point of always being polite to people serving me, you know, always holding doors open for people when you can, doing nice things, being kind, like put kindness out into the world. It is literally free. But what I mean by being more approachable and stop assuming worst case, when I'm not in the best headspace, I can get a little bit paranoid and I can definitely feel like people don't like me, and it's very weird, very peculiar. I don't know where it comes from, but I can just assume that if someone's looking at me, they don't like me. Stop assuming. Smile. What's the worst that's going to happen? They're not going to smile back. But don't just sit there kind of like avoiding eye contact with people because you think they're thinking something of you. If they're thinking something of you and you do a nice gesture like you smile or you say hi, okay, whatever that may be depending on the setting, you're only putting some positivity out there. And if they don't wish to respond in a pleasant way, then you might feel a little uncomfortable, but you know that you've been a nice person. So I want to do more of that, kind of pushing myself to not be afraid in a situation. You know, if I go to a gym class next year, which I'll push myself to do again, try and get more stuck in and try and actually speak to the people, and don't just sit there kind of like reserved in the corner, because it can come across as standoffish, and I have been called that before. It's just when I get shy and I just get a very like in my shell, but it can come across as rude sometimes. So I'm going to try and push myself and do that, because I think it's just a nice way to be. Number 10, be genuinely happy. Very self-explanatory, but just, you know, actually enjoy your accomplishments, being in the moment, all them things. And number 11 is saying yes to plans, living more and finding the balance again. Again, very self-explanatory after everything that I've said. Constantly working isn't necessarily going to get me a better outcome. Pouring all my time into constantly posting and posting and posting and doing all of this when I'm not feeling good is not necessarily going to get me anywhere. Sometimes taking a step back, having a day off is actually going to give you the better outcome, and learning to get that balance and learning that life is for living, it's for enjoyment, and it's not just for working. Like, I'm telling myself that so much. Number 12, enjoy the present without fear. If things go, they will, so you may as well be grateful in the moment. This is like the biggest thing that I really am struggling with right now. If I asked my past self what she would say to me right now, she would say, wow, like everything you've done, everything you've achieved, I am shocked at what you've got and everything you've done. Like, I never in my wildest dreams ever ever even imagined the life I have now, you know, and my past self would be like, wow, like, oh my God, you are so amazing, like, look at what you've done. And I'm not bigging myself up there, like, I'm saying it genuinely, I feel cringe saying it, but I'm saying it genuinely from, like, that is what she would say. Like, she would have, like, no expectation for the life I live now, like, truly. And she would just say, just stop worrying and bloody enjoy it. And then my future self, if she looked down on me now, and what would she be saying? She'd be saying, you can't control what's gonna come, so why on earth are you allowing fear to stop you having fun in the moment? So both things kind of the same. It's ultimately you're allowing the fear to warp your current present moment. And again, like, this is a whole video in itself, but that is a really big issue I've got right now. I can't enjoy anything I do because I'm constantly in fear, and I don't know where it's come from or why. I mean, I do know a few things why. I never knew in my life I could get to a point of earning a decent income, you know, all the things I've got that I've achieved. Like, it's only what my wildest dreams could have believed when I was younger. And I'm not even someone in, like, the best position in the world, but for me, I'm really freaking happy with where I'm at. Well, younger me is. Present me is like, but you need to do more, but you need to do more, but you need to get to the next step, the next step. And then it's a case of, but what if it all goes? What if you don't earn that anymore? What if? And I think it's just, it comes from fear, because it's like when you have something you've never had before, and when you have something you've never even could have dreamt up in your wildest dreams, you just have such a fear of losing it. So I can't even enjoy it because I'm so scared. But then it's like, if it does go, I can only control what I can control. I can control putting out good content, putting the effort in, trying to grow the brand. But ultimately, like, if it doesn't grow, I know I would have done everything I can do. So why not enjoy the process? And that's how I've been living, which is really sad. It's kind of like really warped me launching my brand, if I'm honest. Just constant fear and anxiety. And I think as well it comes from, you know, I used to work a corporate job with a good salary, and I was doing that alongside social media. I was in the best financial position I'd ever been in, and then I dropped my finance job, so my income, you know, would have gone down considerably. And then you're relying just on social media, and then I'm then starting a business and using a lot of money to start a business. So not only is your income dropping, you're then using income and savings to fund a new business, which is the most expensive thing in the world to do. I had no idea how much it would cost, way more than I ever estimated it to be. It's just such a big money burden until a point you finally break even, which often is years and years into the business. It's scary, and I'm scared, basically. So yeah, that's kind of been what's warping my perception the last few months, and has been causing me immense stress, and a lot of the reason for all of these kind of negative emotions I've been having. Anyway, that's that. Number 13, listen to uplifting and educational podcasts. This is something that I really enjoy doing. Every time I do it, I feel great. I would highly recommend you to do it on a dog walk, when you're on the treadmill, on the way to work, when you're just doing anything, cleaning the house. Listen to a podcast. You'll find so many out there. I love The Diary of a CEO. I love watching Grace Beverly. I really enjoy just watching other entrepreneurs and what they're doing and their journey and their story. Find what works for you, but I would absolutely listen to educational and uplifting podcasts. You'll learn a lot, and it does you wonders. Number 14 is get to host a community brand photo shoot. So I really want my community that I'm building for my brand, is in, you know, my customers and people that love the brand, that are loyal to the brand. I would love to do a photo shoot next year with them as the models, if my brand gets big enough to that point where it can do that. And number 15 is get to release the designs that I plan as the brand growth aligns and allows, and basically just means hoping that there's enough sales coming into the business that then can fund the development of bigger and better collections, which is, again, my biggest fear right now. It's so hard. Like, the start is the hardest part, obviously. It's the hardest part, but like, you need like consistent regular sales to generate revenue that then you reinvest into the business to then get more collections, but you need regular new collections to kind of get the interest. It's like a vicious circle. So yeah. Number 16, grow the brand social medias to 10,000. I'll be very happy if I do that next year. And number 17 is reach a month of 500 sales. Now, it might sound not like a lot to some people. I really want to hit 500 sales in a month next year. If that's even possible, I don't know. I mean, I don't even have enough stock to do that right now, but I would love that. Number 18, get to do a content shoot in Paris for Christmas next year. I would just love to have a really lovely party collection and get to shoot it in Paris. Paris is one of my favourite cities, as you know. That would just be a dream come true. And number 19, have my brand understood and a strong community built around its values. I just want my brand to be known for what it does and for people to really understand it. It's really hard to get your message across when you first launch, but ultimately I'm a brand from a girl who struggles with clothing because I am not the tallest, I am not the skinniest, you know, I've got lumps and bumps, I've got hip dips, I've got wider shoulders, like bigger bust, all these things, and I struggle with clothing a lot of the time to feel flattering. And I just want to be that brand that really is speaking to the women that want to feel flattered. And that doesn't mean you have to be my body type or a certain size. My brand will cater to as many sizes as it allows, which is a bit limited when you first start out, but like I want to expand that as I can. But I just want my brand to be known that I'm truly a brand that is trying to empower women. I want my outfit to make you feel amazing. Like that is what I'm trying to do. Like everything I make, I honestly go through such a crazy process of trying to make it perfect. To my detriment, like I often don't end up proceeding with things because it just isn't quite right. So I'm so picky. And I just want everything I release to just make you feel absolutely incredible. Like that is my biggest goal. And obviously investment pieces and quality, and like stop buying 10 fast fashion dresses, just buy one decent dress. But I really want people to understand that about my brand and not just view it as, oh, it's just another fashion brand. No, it's not. There's so much meaning behind this brand. Like there is so much love and passion and thought that goes into everything, and I really want people to know that and feel it when they try the things on too. Number 20, for my motivational self-development content to become more popular on YouTube. So videos like this, I love filming them. I do. I really enjoy it. It's one of my favorite videos to film. Whenever I film these style videos, they don't really do very well, which is it's hard because like the views impact brands working with you. Normally this is my income, so really difficult. I love filming motivational videos and I would love to do more of this. So I really hope that the more I kind of do it, hopefully the views pick up, and then maybe it can be a bit more regular on my channel. I say this all the time and it never picks up and then it never becomes regular, but I am going to try and make it my mission to just persevere a little bit more with it and hope that I get a bit more of an audience for these style videos because I love filming them. Number 21, showcase more quality brands alongside the affordable options too, and hope that brands really aligned to me approach me. So I just want to show more of a variety on my YouTube, not just Primark and B&M and stuff like that. I want to kind of introduce more premium brands, mid brands like M&S for the high street, for example, just so I'm catering to a wider range of people, and to again show you that you can find some beautiful pieces at kind of the mid price points and invest into your wardrobe. It hasn't always got to be Primark and over consuming things. So that's really important to me as well. And then I hope off the back of that that some of the brands that I love I get to work with, because there's some brands that just, yeah, would be like a dream come true, and I would just love that next year to just have a few more brands that I really love reach out to me. There's been some and the collabs haven't materialized. They've reached out but then nothing's happened, and I just really want them to happen next year. Number 22 is upgrade my car if it makes sense. There's a car I want. I nearly inquired again this week. I didn't do it because I just know now is not the time, but if it makes sense, I do want to get that car next year. Number 23 is be fairly sensible with money unless it is an experience or business related. Again, kind of self-explanatory given everything I said, like social media is my full-time job, I'm pumping a lot of money into my business. Now is not the time to be ridiculously stupid with money. Number 24, put more effort into my personal social medias again and take them seriously. They are your only income source. I've really made it clear to myself. I have slacked this year because of the business, which is understandable, but I need to kind of ramp it up again next year. I feel ready, I feel excited, I can't wait, I'm recharged, and I want to, so I will. So I'm really looking forward to just getting more regular again with all my platforms. It's a lot because I'm managing my own TikTok, my own Instagram, YouTube, and then my brand TikTok and Insta. And I'm posting like multiple times a day across all these different apps and platforms. It's a lot, but I can do it. I know I can, so I will. And then number 25 is boss the year and exceed 2024. Just, you know, make 2025 an even better year than 2024. Yeah, so sorry if I went on a little bit there. I hope you enjoyed listening to them. And now we're going to move into the next section of the video, which is trackers. So I am not going to do trackers this year because I don't feel I need to. I have done them historically, they've worked wonders for me, and I'm going to explain to you what they are and maybe put like a little demo on the screen for you. A tracker is something that just, it is what it says it is, it tracks for you. It could be a health tracker, it could be a business tracker, it could be a social media account tracker if you are growing a following, you're trying to grow an account, it could be an exam tracker, whatever the things in your life are that are important to you. It could be weight, health, whatever, yeah, anything. But one that I really enjoyed doing a couple of years ago when I was in a bad headspace was that I had a health tracker it was health and wellness, and I put different categories. Every single day I would rate everything on a scale of 1 to 10, or put a little happy face or sad face depending on how I felt. I would basically just ask myself, have you given yourself any self-care today? The answer should always be yes. Another one that I used to ask myself was, have you exercised? How did you feel today? Just core questions. And then I would see trending patterns of when I felt bad, what was going on. Was I not working out? Was I eating bad that day? What was I doing that caused that? Really, really helpful if you're not in a great headspace. Another one was the social media trackers, just tracking every month where you're at in terms of followers. Really, really helpful. And also like how many uploads you did. You could do saving trackers, again, how much money you're saving each month. Trackers for anything, but they're really handy. But also if you're someone like me, I personally find them really bloody overwhelming. It's also why I stopped doing monthly goals, because when I set myself too many goals and I'm too rigid with what I need to achieve, I will obsess about it and then I can't enjoy myself until I've ticked that thing off. It's my personality type, so I have learned I can't set myself monthly goals or be too rigid in tracking things, because it literally drives me absolutely crazy. It really does. So if you're like me, it might not work out, but if you are someone that needs a bit of direction, then I think it would be really helpful for you. And it did help me once upon a time, but like I say, I learned I get far too obsessed, and then the problem with me is like once I set my mind to something, I will do it, or I will try my best. If I'm then obsessing about it on a piece of paper, it's like every day, right, I've got to do this. But some people struggle to get that motivation, and so a tracker would actually help them to gain a bit of control and motivation. But for me, it tips me right over the edge and it doesn't work. But yeah, trackers are great. If they work for you, implement them 100%. And we're going to finish up the video with vision boarding. I bloody love vision boarding. It's one of my favourite things ever. You can print stuff out and make your own vision board, like sticking things on a piece of paper so you can look at it every day. I personally love having a vision board as my phone lock screen and on my laptop too. So that is my vision board for 2024. And what's funny is you have the business one, which I didn't even really think about it. I just saw that at the time and was like, oh, I like that. Some things I didn't achieve too, mainly the self-care, which I'm actually stepping into now. We're obviously getting close to the new year. But anyway, I would set this vision board, make a vision board. My personal favourite way of doing it, and I'll show you on screen me making mine, is using Canva. I love Canva, so good. You can get it for free. I do pay for mine, but I don't think you have to. And I go to Pinterest and I type in something related to what I want to do. Just start searching words, and often put the word aesthetic after what you're searching for. So it could be like Pilates aesthetic or something like that. And then get these images, save them down to your laptop, and then bring them into Canva, and you could just play around and make your screen saver things for your desktop and your laptop. And then I also like to like rearrange that for my phone as well. I just find it great because like you see this constantly without even realizing it. You're unlocking your phone and you're seeing those images constantly. Like it's literally a constant reminder of your goals, and it's a constant reminder of the life you want to live and where you could be. And I think it just does something. Like it clearly has a positive impact. It's not a negative thing to do. I think it's a really great thing to do, and it just keeps you motivated, keeps you going when you maybe haven't got that motivation. You can look at your phone and think, actually, I want to be doing that, so that's why I'm working hard tonight, and that's why I'm doing that overtime, or that's why I'm doing XYZ that I don't want to do right now, but I'm doing it for this version of me. She deserves it. Yeah, I would highly, highly recommend doing that. It's like the most positive part of this whole video is the vision board. I think it's when all the things we've just spoken about come together as one, and they really are just like solidified in pictures, and it's fun, and you get creative, and you can put quotes on there if you like quotes. I personally love putting quotes on there. Yeah, just get creative with it. Make it fun. Make it what you want it to be. I absolutely love doing it. So I wanted to end the video with the little vision board. It's great. And I just want to end the video by saying I hope you took something from it. I hope you enjoyed this chat with me. I hope that I've inspired you in some way. That's always my motivation. I want to inspire. Anything is possible. You know, sometimes people think it's a bit airy-fairy, like setting goals and manifesting and all this, but I truly believe you can achieve what you want in life. And I don't mean that by saying, right, next year I want to be a millionaire. I mean, some people will achieve that, but try and be somewhat realistic, you know, and don't set yourself up to fail. But like, you can achieve things. Try and enjoy the journey, which again is something I'm trying to work on right now. Can't enjoy the journey because I stress too much. But anyway, try and enjoy the journey of life, because if you had everything you desired, it would soon become the norm. It would get boring and you want the next thing. So set yourself kind of realistic but a little bit out of reach goals, and then working towards them. It's just, it gives you so much like satisfaction and enjoyment, and it shouldn't be a hardship. It should be something that you want to do. And that's what I'd say as well. Like if something feels really like just uncomfortable, and if something feels really wrong and you're just thinking, oh, I really hate doing this, maybe that's not the goal for you, because the things you truly want in life, I think you have to have an element of enjoyment along the way. Like even with the exercise, I don't want to go to the gym, but once I'm there and I'm doing it, I am enjoying myself. And if you're not, again, sometimes it's like maybe that isn't aligned to you, and that's okay. But yeah, you don't want to spend your life obviously forcing yourself to do things you're not enjoying, but also like a little uncomfortableness along the way is also what's going to get you there. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed, guys. Let me know other videos like this that you might want to see moving into 2025 together for the best year we can have. I just really enjoy these videos. They're just nice. I love sitting and chatting with you guys and just being motivational as much as I can try and be. So I will see you very soon. I hope you took something from this. Please do it. Don't just watch this and don't take action, because if you take some form of action, you're already one step ahead of you yesterday. So I'll leave you with that, and I will see you guys soon. Mwah! Bye.